Hello everybody, this is MC. We'll start off the episode, and as you see in the thumbnail, instead of starting this off with the Serenity Prayer, let's just start it off with moments of silence and open it up with the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. So, with that taken, I just hope that that Henry Ruggs and them family is at some sort of serenity. I know it's a whole lot of emotions flowing, and the tragedy that happened in the other individuals in their family. Drugs and alcohol, man. Alcohol and drugs. Like I would like to say, I put in the thumbnail, there's a solution, because that's the chapter after Bill's story. And what I learned from what my sponsor told me and taught me writing that is that I had to write the physical craving of the body after I take the first drink I had. And to relate to the story of there's a solution. Notice I said after I take the first drink I had, and these are some of the after effects that happen in lives for individuals that just happen to not to have certain guidance, or it's not saying that the individual is alcoholic, but these are some of the results of something that can happen with alcohol or with weed, marijuana, crack, all kind of mind-altering substances. Mind-altering substances, so it can be a multitude of things. But right in there's a solution. On this first page, I'm just read just the first paragraph. And it says, there's a solution, chapter 2. We of Alcoholics Anonymous know thousands of men and women who were once just as hopeless as Bill. Nearly all have recovered. They have solved the drink problem, the crack problem, the overeating problem, the gambling problem, the compulsive, and that's why a whole lot of other fellowships adapted the 12 steps, because they start seeing that individuals had a solution. Now, with the Raiders camp, I'm up here believing that it's a solution. Some of the old school Raiders and right in the league, you would think that they'll give them some guidance and let them know, these are a lot of young athletes, and some of them, this is the first time that they have gotten all of this money and all of this and start getting recognition and fame and stuff. And that don't always have to be with athletes. They can be like, with college students finally getting that job they always wanted. And then the result, I was speaking earlier today with my little boy. It's like when I first found out, I'm up here saying like, wow, we didn't have like Ubers and things of that nature. See, in my past, on days when I got drunk, like in here, and there's a solution when I read that, and it say further down, I'm just giving you a summary, that is like, it's basically saying we all relate to the situations of what Bill and a lot of us have gone through, and then when we get to the other side, we feel like when we in the rooms, it says like we are average Americans, all sections of this country and many of occupation represented, as well as political, economic, social, religious background. We are people who normally would not mix, but there exists among us a fellowship of friendliness and an understanding which is the indescribable, wonderful. We are like passengers of a shipwreck the moment rescue from shipwreck, we camaraderie, meaning like we fellowship and joys and democratic prevail. The vessel from the steerage of the captain table. So, we become real excited once we get into this work. It really excited me because out of the 22 years, I met a whole lot of people in the fellowship. Professional athletes, actors, and businessmen, doctors, pharmacists, and then spoiled brats, poor people, people that grew up poor, but now all of a sudden they made something of themselves. So I was reading this, right? And I only read that part to just to get over here to the last sentence. The tremendous fact for every one of us is that we have discovered a common solution. We have a way out on which we can absolutely agree, and upon which we can join in brotherly and harmonious action. This is the great news this book carries to those who suffer from alcoholism. See, the I, self, and me. See, so was this like, it's a lot of selfishness. We may have to start giving back and helping our young ones have some sort of guidance. 22 is like, a lot of people say your brain don't fully develop at around until you're like 25. But mind you, I work for the Department of Mental Health. And then some people down there think it's around 28 or 30. So that's something real interesting. It's a lot of talk about the development of the brain. There's the solution. The physical craving, like I said earlier, right? After I take the first drink. I explained to y'all in an earlier chapter, once I put one in, it sets off this phenomenon of craving for more. And these are the results that I used to have after I take the first one. What used to happen to me, I would put everybody's lives up on in danger. I'll have everybody's mind worrying about whether or not I remember getting hit by a car. And there's a lot of, so once, can you imagine how a whole lot of friends and family felt when they heard that I got hit by a car? So the page that I just turned, this is what it say at the top. It says this: an illness of this sort, and I mentioned this to y'all, and we have to come to believe in the illness involves those about in a way no other human sickness can. If a person has cancer, all are sorry for him, or no one is angry or hurt. But not so with the alcoholic illness. See, this disease I have, that's what the book is talking about. For with it goes annihilation of all things worthwhile in life. It engulfs all those lives it touches and suffers. It brings misunderstanding, fears, resentment, financial insecurity, disgusted friends and employers, warped lives of blameless children and sad wives and parents, and anyone can increase the list. And that's why we have these steps. Because when we get to forest, we're going to have to make that list to do an inventory of all the resentments that we have with everyone we done touched, engulfed, snuffed out their life, don't want to never speak to us again, and just everything. See, up under this annihilation, when I have a wreck, when I take one, I do all kind of stuff. I manipulate folks. You can give me some work to do around your house, or have me do moving right in your truck, and then do I just do all kind of stuff like something that happened to me at night. I remember I helped this guy move some furniture from one house to another, and then he paid me. Then I spent the money up. But when I came back and I looked at the house where we moved all the stuff from, I seen the dolly and I sold it. So, and then I didn't even know it was that individual Dottie, but I didn't have no business selling it in the first place because the house was empty. I thought it was the people, Dolly. This is how alcohol convinced me and allowed me to believe the picture that it was the people, Dolly, of the house that we moved out of. So this is how it warps my mind. And then when it warps my mind, and then it warps the reality of the people I was working for, he had to cut me off from his family from getting all them big giant green alcoholic bottles and cans that all the other individuals that was pushing baskets in the neighborhood couldn't even touch. That one trip at that house will be like about a good 10, sometimes $15. And for me taking $1 set off of resentment. It starts setting off an annihilation of things where my mom and dad and them, a lot of people was just giving up. Folks was telling me that, man, I guess we got to buy a black suit because the way I was carrying it on. And in this situation, it's a whole lot of people in prayer over this. You would really, really, really think that I see with some of the teams, some of the old school people from the previous years do go back, but do they really go back and teach and explain to these these young men that you represent this team? And I'm liking what I'm hearing in the news that they're gonna be there for Henry Ruggs and all of that. I wish them well. I hope this don't be one of them things where it's time for them to, quote unquote, it's another time, for example, and then rolling out another law. But with that, I would like to say that's a little touch of, after I take one, that's what happened, what I mentioned. I have misconstrued ideas on how to live life. So, in this, like I said, have family members and everyone all sad. So, take this into account. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Get back. I'm going to try to practice and learn some of this stuff on how to come in live and where we can push the envelope of this recovery. And I've seen a couple of other individuals right online that's involved in the recovery process. And until then, I'll see y'all. Keep coming back. Enjoy your evening and day.